here we go. Fuck, I don't even know what episode this is.
We're just...
Gunshots on a gun, I don't wanna be. Guilt trip, these drugs are inside of me. This is not where I wanna be. This is not who I wanna be. And these words I speak.
Who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
That's the attitude, man.
Well, you know, it is the attitude, but the problem is, I do care. So, you know, as much
Don't
as-
let them know. Don't let them know.
Nah, I don't. I gotta let them know. You gotta let them know,
All right,
cause
well, let them know.
well, I gotta let you guys know. Well, anyway, I'll let you guys know in a bit. I care, all right. But also, fucking welcome back. Here we are. This is the relaunch, the official relaunch of the Mostly Sorry podcast. I know. 5s and 10s of you have been sending me a message, singular. When are you guys back? When is it coming back? What happened to the podcast? Here we are. We're here to fucking tell you what happened. We're back. We were on a hiatus for a bit. Deary was off in Chappelle land. He's back now. Are we allowed to talk about that? You can talk about that in a bit.
Yeah,
Well,
of course. Yeah.
anyway, so we're gonna talk about that. I want to kind of start. This is a sad beginning, but we're gonna get past it. Last week, I guess this could be part of the mental health check-in, really. But
Okay, well then let me set it off, Joel. We always
All right.
start the podcast the same way. I know it's been a minute, but damn, you probably got a lot to talk about in your mindset. But since I've seen you last, how's your mental health been? How you been?
Oh, it's been up and down, baby. I have sort of fallen off of the meditation every single day train. I'm sort of checking in with that as needed, which it's weird because I'm trying to get back. I should get back into it. I just joined a gym, and I think that meditation and gym would be really good to do both of those things. But yeah, it's been weird. So the sad thing is that I had my dog Shade. He was like, I've had him maybe. We couldn't really do the math on that, but anywhere between 13 and 15 years, because I got him from a lady in the streets, and but so I'm not exactly sure when we got him. We don't have like birthdays for our dogs, like a lot of you people out there. White.
You people.
Yeah,
People.
yeah, white people.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you know this. White people be having dog birthdays, which is dope, actually. I mean, I like it. Anybody that's down with the animals, like, I can get with it. I'm not gonna hate on having a dog birthday. Why not spread some love? But so
Mexican people don't have dog birthdays?
I'm sure they do. I'm positive they do.
I'm sure they do. They get the
Yeah.
dog a little piñata to like paw at and shit filled with dog treats. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be in Mexico, but I'm sure Mexican people in America probably just do the same thing that I just said white people do because they are also American. And don't you ever fucking forget that. I swear to God. I'm just as American as the rest of you, you fucking idiots. Okay, anyway. But so, like, last week, he'd been having some health issues. He's old, and we thought it was just, like, liver stuff or whatever. But then he just started, like, not really, you can tell he was not moving the way he used to, and so I took him in. They did a blood test. They gave him some liver medicine. They're like, bring him back in a month. Took him back in a month. They wanted to do another blood test to compare, but they also did an X-ray. They found out he had like a crazy growth, like a tumor basically growing inside of him that was like big and starting to push his organs, like, just fucking up his insides. And so but that was good because, like, I asked the doctor, I was like, so what's the next, like, step? Do we have to talk about, like, putting him to sleep? And she was like, you would be completely justified in doing that. I would do it for my dog. And so it felt good. The tests were fucking expensive, and I hate to, like, care about money in, like, a thing like this that's involving a life. But to me, it was so worth it to pay that to get the full on, like, this is what you should do, because otherwise, like, the second guessing thing would have driven me fucking insane, dude. But so they told me that it was on a Monday. And she's like, we can do it. And I was like, I want my brother and my nephew and like people to see him and say bye and stuff. So we brought him home. Tuesday, that was on, let me see. I took him on a Monday.
Just this week, or was this last week, or
That was last week. Yeah, last
week. Okay.
Last Wednesday is when it actually happened. So Tuesday was awful because like the countdown, it's like the next day. So it's like it's just it was weird, man. I felt like I was like on hallucinogenics the whole day. Like I was just sort of like floating. And we went to like a bougie butcher shop and got him like a fucking like a chuck or something, like a bougie ass like hamburger patty and bacon, and the butcher was so nice, he didn't even like charge me for it. I told him why I was there, and he gave it to me for free. So shout out to them. That was very, very nice. Came home, my brother, my nephew saw him. Me and my girlfriend were here. We made him that. The neighbors brought over their dog who he was friends with. It was a nice, everybody kind of said bye. So it was like best case scenario send off. I took him on the walk that I took him on all the time, for like a last walk. And it's weird because his whole, like, as he was getting older, every time I'd take him for that walk, I'd be like, I would always have that thought that like one day this is going to be the last one. We're going to have your last walk here. And, so that was it. The next morning we woke up really early, because of COVID, you have to like line up, like you can't just make an appointment for that sort of thing, which is kind of cruel if you think about it, like making people line up to euthanize their pet. But what we did was me and my girlfriend went and lined up. We got up at 6:45. We were in line at like 7, and then came to pick him up at the house about 8:45 because they open at 9, and so he was the first one on the list. And it was rough, man. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do. My girl came in with me, but I was alone when the actual process was happening. I just thought like, I just wanted to do it alone, I guess. It was just so many emotions. And so it was rough, man. It was really hard to leave after it happened. I brought him a blanket and like Kraft singles because he loved cheese. And they did it. So we're getting him cremated, and I'm getting his ashes soon, and like a paw print. And so I just wanted to do this as a send off to Shade, the one of the most powerful chihuahuas I've ever known in my entire life. There's a bunch of funny stories. Like he was such a crazy dog, dude. Like he would when we first got him, he was really aggressive and would like try to bite everybody, and would jump really high. And so we got a letter from the mailman that we had to raise our mailbox like a certain amount so that he could deliver our mail. Otherwise, he wasn't going to deliver our mail anymore. So to this day, our mailbox is like on this post that is ridiculously high compared to everybody else's on the block. One time he escaped from the dog catcher and like broke the dog catcher's like catching tool, and like the dog catcher said he ran home, like he knew where he was home, and I had to go to court for him that day, like because of that day. And when the judge asked me what kind of dog it was that I was there for, and I said Chihuahua, like the whole courtroom laughed, because people usually go to court for like pit bulls or whatever, but seeing that I was there for this tiny little dog was really funny. So we'll miss him, man. That was a trippy thing, man. I felt it was super hard, and then I equally felt like I learned a lot about myself, and that I like gathered some tools for the tool belt for just that process of life and death and what it's like. And it was weird because it's
crazy because like you have to put him down, you know what I mean? Do you think that's what God is feeling right now with Donald Trump?
I don't know. So I got theories about that. That's a good segue.
God's like, I gotta put this dude down, but it's
well. So
give him 24 hours.
I got something. Well, first, before let me give off this final send off to my boy Shade. So we love him, and we're gonna miss him. And hug your fucking pets. I don't think I want pets ever again after this. I have a cat and a snake, but after they're gone, it's like I'm done. But what was cool was like now I'm a little more prepped for when the time comes for my cat.
You'll get another animal. It's been a week, man. Like it's hard to like.
I don't know. No, I honestly I can't
animal.
afford it either. I can't afford it. So
Right.
it's
is
just
expensive,
it's ridiculous. Like I don't understand how people just willy nilly get fucking pets, dude. The amount of money I spent on Shade just to keep them going. You know, I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't got it like that. So you know, and then I was like. Yeah, I've been thinking about maybe if I want children eventually, and I was like, yeah, I would. And then after this, I was like, nope, I don't want kids. But then somebody brought up the point that I will die before them, so I won't have to deal. Oh, you know, God willing, I'll die before my kids, so I don't have to deal with watching my kids die. Which that made me think about people that have lost children, and I'm like, God damn, that is probably one of the truest pains out there in the known universe, man. But you know, another one of the truest pains that we're dealing with in our daily life now is COVID and sort of all this insanity that's happening with America and our election. And you know, I tend to believe that it is all the same thing. They're all evil. This country's already bought and sold and all that. And I've been thinking about my opinion on this. Maybe it's an ignorant opinion, but it's like I just want that I don't know. I don't even know how to phrase this, but I think that all of this shit it's so my problem with Trump is I just don't like the guy. I think he's a fucking bad person. I think politicians are bad people also. So let me say that to anybody who's like, well, what about Biden? Yeah, I don't like the guy either. I think that what I'm feeling right now is I'm basing a lot of this on character. I don't like Trump's character. I feel that Biden it seems like right now we'll listen a little bit more to experts and maybe would be an easier sort of sway on like, hey, he'll go, you know what, maybe I don't feel this, but these experts are saying we got to do this. You know, and who knows? But
dude, I know. I mean, everyone knows.
All right, hit me with the facts because I'm on it. Can I just say, just to clean this up, there was that old Chappelle joke where he was saying, you know, he just votes on character. Like he doesn't really know a lot about politics. I'm purely voting on. I don't like this like finger pointing, angry, just blame America first because it's there. It is this weird sort of. It's racist. It's racist. It's like not even racist. It's like nationalist, like America. Like when people say God bless America, well then what about the rest of the world? Fuck them. I don't think so. You know, I love human beings, and I don't want to believe that this American supremacy ideal that we deserve all this stuff. I don't like when we go into places and try to make them live this American sort of lifestyle. And so I don't really know what I'm getting at. I'm just sort of like, I got a little bit fired up. I just don't, I'll say it. You can call me dumb, whatever. I'm learning as I go along. I don't like the guy. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the anger. I don't like shit that has like negative sort of connotations behind it. And sure, all politicians are negative, but I like maybe the package that comes with a calmer voice. And so, you know, whatever, you know, I'm learning as I go. But go ahead, break down what you were about to say, Deary.
I was just going to say, you know, you're in talking about like the COVID thing, you know, in terms of like, I think someone like Biden, you know, not my favorite. Obviously, I'm a Bernie guy. I'm a radical leftist, Antifa guy, you know. And obviously, you know, when you talk about the COVID response, I just can't believe there's people on the right that are like, that still think this is acceptable. Hope Hicks she was tested positive.
Yeah.
The White House knew she tested positive. The president was around her, right? He gets on an airplane and goes to a fundraiser and inside around a bunch of his people without a mask on. And now a bunch of more people have it. Now he's got it. Melania's got it. You know, like 6 or 7 people down the line got it. Now there's more videos coming out of them at an event without masks, all hugging each other. This guy, this Republican, whatever, I guess senator just got it.
Yeah.
Then they show images of him hugging Chris Christie and hugging, you know, the woman who was nominated for the Supreme Court. It's insane.
Yeah. Why would you hug Chris Christie anyway?
I know. But maybe because you like the smell of mushrooms. I don't really know what that guy smells like, but
probably pork. Anyway,
yeah, I would assume like bad, like feet. If you have a foot fetish, you might want to hug him. But I'm just saying, like, obviously, and like here in the debate, here's this guy Trump making fun of Joe Biden for wearing a mask.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And Herman Cain already died. It's insane. Like one of the 5 black people who supported you died. I don't know. I'm not that into politics, but I do want to say that just came out right now, and I mean obviously this is going to come out tomorrow or the next day, so who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump just went to the hospital. He's in Walter Reed Hospital. They're saying just in case, but it's like, really? Would he go to the hospital just in case? I don't think so.
I've had a few thoughts about this. Like, last night I had some edibles before bed, and I got the update, like, and so I thought I was maybe like in a dreamy high state when I read that. So when I woke up, I was like, was that fucking real or did I dream that? Looked it up, sure enough. But I have some thoughts, man. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also like, part of me also thinks maybe he doesn't have it, and
no possibility. No
You don't think?
possibility.
Okay,
Gotta
'cause
shut it down right away. No possibility.
Because I was like,
why would he do that? Why?
okay,
That
let me-
It
can I
makes him look like a dick.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why.
To get out of the debate, to try and not do the debate. First off, because he was already saying he was going to boycott it if they change the rules. And then my second theory is so that he can, when it's whatever the 2 weeks are over, he can come out and say, "See, I beat it. It's not that bad. I told you it's not that bad." Like, do you think that is beyond sort of like the possibility of like the government sort of like doing that?
I think it's way beyond the possibility. I mean, because here's why. I mean, yes, to get out of the debates, I can kind of understand. He did very poorly at the debates.
Or to say that the virus, see, I beat it. The virus isn't that bad.
I don't think he wants to do that, because the idea of getting it is, and also multiple people have it. So
well, that's probably the best fact that I would go with, is that the trail sort of, if you follow the money, then you see where what's going on.
Exactly. And including reporters. There's 2 reporters that don't work for the White House that got it as well. So
it's fake news.
It's I mean, I love a good conspiracy theory as much as the next guy, but it also, the optics of it, he just does not want to look like a weak person that could even catch this thing. It just does not make him look good. He can get around the whole debate thing. I'm pretty sure he can get around the debate thing. I don't think, and the idea of him being super strong, surviving it does sound good, but what's better? What's stronger than surviving it than just never getting it? I think never getting it would be the number one thing. It doesn't make him look good to catch it. It really doesn't. He looks like a fucking absolute dickhead to me.
I don't know.
Here's a guy who's making fun of. He was literally in the debate making fun of the masks and stuff, and it's like, fucking. And now and he would he really go to the hospital? Would he go to the hospital?
How did he make fun of during the debate? Because I only saw the last part of it. It was rough for me to watch.
He made fun of Joe Biden wearing masks. He's like, he said, I'll wear a mask. And he pulled a mask out of his pocket. He goes, I wear a mask when I have to, but I don't wear a mask like Joe Biden wears masks. Every time I see the guy, he's wearing a mask. And he wears these huge he's like trying to make fun of the fact that he's wearing a mask. It's like so weird,
Cut to Biden in a Darth Vader helmet. I'm kidding. All right. I don't know. It was a trip, man. In watching that debate, like it was just awful. It was a shit show, and it was crazy. I'll tell you the one thing I did like, and this goes back to sort of my theory about why I don't like Trump, which is, admittedly sort of maybe just a dumb reason. I liked the calm tone of Biden's voice. Like, I know he stumbled on words and stuff, but I just liked the calmness of the voice. I'm so sick of the fucking the hate, Sorry, I'm also trying. I'm unveiling this new Trump impression that I got here. So, hi, David Deary's the best producer, number one producer.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
you might get my vote if you keep talking like
you're
that.
Looking a little fat.
Stop
You're
it.
looking fat. You're old. I don't know how you're gonna keep producing this long. You're weak. I'm gonna find the better producer.
There you go.
I don't know. Whatever. All right, but it's just interesting, man. There's been a lot of shit sort of happening, and
here, let me set you up for a good one. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
I'm dead curious about this.
Okay.
Lots and lots and lots of people are online now saying that they hope he dies. How do you feel about that? And I gotta say, like, I don't know if it's legal.
Yeah.
I mean, not only how do you you don't have to say if you hope
I'll
he
say
dies
this.
or not.
I'll say this.
What do you feel about people saying that they hope he dies? Do you think there's anything wrong with that, or like
Free
does it make you
speech,
uncomfortable?
man. No, I think I think people said crazy shit about all. I think as long as how do I feel about people saying they hope he dies? Huh.
It's weird though. I'll be honest with you. I swear to God, 2 or 3 days ago, I told my wife, I was like, this feels awful, but I hope the guy dies.
Yeah.
Before he had the COVID.
Allegedly. You said
Before he
that.
had the COVID. I
Yeah.
mean, I might have been joking. You know, I'm not sure if it's even like you feel so weird talking about this shit.
Yeah.
But for the better of humanity, like that, it would be
Well,
crazy
but-
if he died right now. It would be crazy. Like, what would happen to the election? Just does Joe Biden just instantly win? I mean, I don't know. It would definitely put people in a different perspective of
Well, I think-
taking care of this coronavirus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the other stuff is I mean that it would definitely, I saw some headline that said something about like him getting it really puts reality back into the forefront, like amidst all this sort of mudslinging and the right and the left shit. It's like, well, there's one real fact here, and that's coronavirus, and so it's like happening. But how do I feel about
He's
people?
the guy in charge of it. That's the thing. He's the guy in charge
Yeah.
of it. I don't get to like. I mean, I can influence people and say, dude, masks work, social distancing works, quarantining works. Being a responsible person, it does not have to be like this. It's not like this in other countries. We
Yeah.
have the worst pandemic response to any country in the world, and it doesn't have to be like this. So when he gets it, the irony is just so fucking sweet, It's like a piece
Yeah.
of pie. Eat that shit. I mean, that's all you can do is just be like, look, dude, it didn't have to be like this. You
Yeah.
didn't have to be at
Yeah.
events hugging people.
Yeah.
You're fucking nuts. And you got it.
I'm trying to think deeply about the thought of like, how do I feel about people saying they hope he dies? I guess I would feel the same way about thinking that about anybody. You're free to think whatever you want. I'll say this. Would I feel bad? No, absolutely not. I would not, dude. I wouldn't shed a fucking tear. I'd be more sad about.
Wait. You wouldn't feel bad for Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr.?
No,
Their dad's dying.
dude. Honestly, when you
The
said
guy who held up an elephant trunk?
no, I don't
kills,
give.
like,
No, I don't
extinct
care.
animals?
I don't.
I
But
was
but
being- I was
honestly, I
definitely
honestly
joking.
don't know how many politicians I would fucking cry about at all, dude. My sort of fear is like the pot has been stirred to the point where and I mean, you hear it from there are supporters of Trump that will say that like. So my mom, I've probably said this a million times, she was married to a black man in the 70s, 80s, and went through, grew up during all this crazy shit, civil rights, all that stuff. And she says that it is just as bad now, if not worse, as it was during that time, racial sort of divide and the intensity. And so when she says shit like that, I got to believe her because it's like, what a trip. You think that people will go on and say like, it's not that bad. Like it's been worse. It's this and that. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm going to fucking lean on thinking like it is pretty crazy. And I've been thinking a lot about how social media, like Instagram, like memes, the sort of simplicity of a meme and stuff. It's so easy to spread propaganda. Like it's spreading propaganda, and it's kind of a trip, man. How we don't think of it because they're memes and it's TikTok and it's this and that or whatever. But it's like, no, it's spreading it at a rapid rate too because of just how quickly the internet spreads. And so my point to all that is, my fear is that even if Biden wins, that what's going to happen, it's people, the other side is going to be riled up and, they're,
Changes
telling them
slow.
telling them to stand by and shit like that. What are they standing by for? Are they standing by for if Biden wins? Is that when people will take the streets and shit like that? It's like, I'm hoping that I think in my experience, most people are lazy and will only do. I think Carlin said it, like they'll only do enough to, people will only work as hard as they have to not get fired or whatever, this and that. And I'm hoping, if Biden wins, that we will really realize how complacent and lazy people are, where people will, even the alt-right and stuff like that, will just sit back and be like, just go back to their fucking caves and fucking their cousins and sort of burning crosses in obscurity, that it might flare
I mean,
up
there's
for a
not that
bit,
many.
but
There's not that many of those people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
relatively speaking, it's like even the biggest like Proud Boys rallies or like alt-right rallies or Charlottesville. It's like they could never muster up more than, I mean, even
Then
20,000
tanks.
people is not that much.
yeah, they don't have tanks.
They definitely don't. And I mean, it's scary to think that the police, are pretty much on the side of the alt-right and stuff like that. But in reality, when push comes to shove, they just got to do the right thing and hopefully, I mean, I feel like we're gonna have a few little sparks here and there of violence from these guys. They really just they're dying for it, but
Yeah, they're waiting for it.
yeah, they're dying for it, but they don't have the numbers. They're dying out. It's a dying breed, and I don't really think personally that it's worse than it's ever been, but it's bad. I had a racist cab driver.
I didn't say it was
I had a
worse.
racist cab driver.
I didn't say it was worse than
As
it's ever
bad, as
been.
bad.
Yeah. So, it's interesting.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think, we are growing in terms of, like, think of all the every interracial, couple. It's like racist people they have to have sex with racist people and then raise those kids to be racist, which is what they try to do, but they don't always succeed, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it's rare that non-racist people raise racist people, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's more of us. We're still fucking. And,
Yeah,
they
I
are
just thought-
eventually going to be outnumbered by so much. I mean, this country is going to be brown eventually.
Yeah, I just think it was an interesting sort of thought for someone like my mom to even have a thought like in that realm. Like, and I probably didn't say it exactly how she said it, but she feels like it's pretty gnarly right now, and it's interesting, man, because it's also like I've been experiencing this with some people that I've come into contact with. It's like people will go on and on about how whatever the media is doing this, the media is doing that, but a lot of those people they don't know what it's like to be a brown person or a black person in America. So I get it. They have their sort of opinion, but they've never really had to like walk. And they go, really? Is it that bad? It's like you can tell somebody what it's like to be on the moon, and they'll never really know what it's like until they've been on the moon, So I just hope people kind of keep that in mind. But I also don't think
I mean,
that
people
those
use the media thing. It's just like it's getting tired. Like, oh, the media. It's like, look, it's pretty much equal, right? Because yes, the media's, we've known for years, the media's like, biased towards money and corporations, and they have an agenda. But now we have social media and memes to deal with, and we have YouTube, and we have fucking alternative media that's like just as bad. I don't know what makes people think that this YouTube video doesn't have an agenda, that these doctors that tell you not to wear a mask, that they don't have an agenda. Oh, ironically, they're selling a book. It's like...
Yeah, and sometimes it's even worse because it's like you don't know who the fuck this person is. You don't know where they're coming from, where like at least... this is a crazy thought, but at least like with Fox News or there are these people in a boardroom discussing this agenda where if some fucking just dude can throw on his YouTube, record his message, like you don't even have to have a thought to that. You're just throwing out this idea out there. I mean, I'm doing it right now. It's like I'm here on a mic, fucking. It's like listen to me, and I don't fucking really know anything, dude. All I know is how I feel, and like and I don't know. I think I love human beings, and I'm more into the idea of humanity than I am the idea of money. And there's been this weird switch, man. Like I've noticed even people who like were punk rockers back in the day or like were all about fuck the system, and now they've changed. And I was like, what? When did everybody sell out and become this fucking like? When did it?
When they had to survive, I mean, it's easy when you're fucking 19 years old and you don't. Or you live with your parents. You're 17 years old. You live with your parents. You never saw a bill in your life. It's like, I heard a great interview with a guy, and he was talking about he met a dude who wanted to go off the grid, and it was impossible. It was impossible for the guy to go off the grid because, he didn't own land, and he didn't have money, and you can't grow everything, and you know what I mean? It's just like the reality is we're in the system. We're stuck in the system.
Yeah.
We're in the system. You can't really say fuck the system. We're in it. Like, I don't know what that even means. Fuck the system. It's like I'm sitting here on a fucking we're about to upload this to YouTube, which is this.
Yeah.
Google is the system.
Even if you
So,
want
I
to
mean,
print flyers, like what's the ink you're using? What is the machine? It's like we all have iPhones. It's like that's what's interesting. I've been a little bit more interested about sort of smaller ways to enact change. Is like I can love my fellow human. I can donate to whatever. I like donating to like homeless shelters or like feeding people or like things like that. I think are what really. And people might think they don't really create any sort of change, but I think that like those are the things that lately I've been a lot more sort of interested in, and maybe like, voting on sort of local bills and things like that, which I'm obviously not super educated on, but yeah, I don't know, man. Been thinking a lot
no,
about
it's all
that.
about creating like something within a bubble, so to speak, within the system, right? I mean, it's about creating something that's great and brings people joy, and that's why podcasts are great, because there's these little ecosystems.
Yeah, and you would think that it can't really enact change, but and I was thinking about it, like bands, like bands like whatever, Rage Against the Machine or The Clash or Run the Jewels or Public Enemy, things like that, where people would say, well, they're not really enacting change, but they might inspire somebody who does create that change. Who's to say? For sure there have been people who were raised on that music who ended up getting into politics, who ended up, it shakes things up a little bit. And so I think that, I've heard people saying, whatever T-shirts or signs don't really do anything, or the marching, it's all like it's virtue signaling. But I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with that. I think that like, they said like maybe the women's march didn't do shit, but it's like, well, maybe my niece who's fucking 8 sees that and gets inspired by this like sort of act of solidarity, and then goes into a field where that she can actually enact some real change. So I wouldn't say that those things don't create change. Like I think that that's it just depends what kind of change you're hoping to enact, but I think that even sparking a seed is worth doing the act for, I think.
No, agreed. I agree wholeheartedly. And I mean, you're always going to have these opinions, and they're just really like, they're getting, I guess because of the internet, opinions are just getting more available, and like you see all these people. I don't know how they get there. I really don't know how Ben Shapiro gets a voice to say that white privilege isn't real, but
yeah,
I got, from Yellow Springs, when I had to get a cab, I had to get to the airport to get home. I had to get to Dayton. It's like a 25-minute drive. I had to get a cab. I had to get an airport ride or whatever. And I got picked up by this guy in a van, and he was just racist as shit. And he just like, I literally said, how's Dayton? You live in Dayton. What's Dayton like? And he said, well, the blacks, yada, yada, yada.
Wow.
For 25 minutes. I recorded some of it. It's absolutely astonishing. And I asked him, he's going off about affirmative. He sounds like literally like a Ku Klux Klan, like a straight up pamphlet from the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
And a lot of these like, right wing, alt right, talking points about affirmative action and how Black Lives Matter is super racist. And he said, oh, why should we feel bad for George Floyd, the career criminal?
Yeah.
And I was just I didn't want to
get
into it.
I want to pause you too, because I'm hearing a lot about this. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Even if he was a murderer, we don't kill. You need a trial. All these people who want a fair trial, or the justice system, even if he was even serial killers get a trial. So who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm so sick of that. Oh, this person has a rap sheet. Who cares? So then they deserve a fair trial. And then if our system, as much as these people that are saying that believe in our system, why not let that handle it? Why does it fucking matter? If you're a criminal, you deserve to die, like just like that. Like you get a fucking trial. That's how we do it in this fucking country. So back to you.
Yeah, and then he was going off about all that shit. But I mean, and also it's like, how do you know he's a career criminal? And what's a career criminal? And like, what was he even doing? I can't remember what he was even doing, but the guy, anyway, like you said. So I asked him if he thought, I knew what the answer was going to be, but I was recording him and stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
And I asked him, well, let me ask you this. Do you think white privilege is a thing? And he went fucking apeshit. He threw his hands up. But luckily, he was wearing a mask. I said, thank you for, and the first thing I said to him was, thank you for wearing a mask, because he didn't seem, we're in Ohio. He looked like a Trump supporter, and he said, well, it's the law. And I go, well, thank you for following the law. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. And so anyway, he fucking went crazy about white privilege. and how it didn't exist and it's bullshit. And if black people just would just get a job, they're so lazy. And he's like, look at me. And I go, yeah, but dude, like, it's not about you just because you didn't succeed as a white person. It's like, let me give you an example. Like, what are the best colleges in this country? Yale, Harvard, Princeton, Brown. Now, look at the enrollment in those. Most of the people that get into those schools get in because their parents get them in. Oh, my dad went to Harvard. I go to Harvard. Well, if you're black, your dad didn't get to go to Harvard. He wasn't legally allowed to go to Harvard. And the guy goes, that was fucking forever ago.
Yeah.
I go, dude, that was fucking 40 years ago.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He goes, they need to get over that shit. They're always bitching about slavery and this
Mind
and that.
you,
And I'm like,
these
dude, you
people
don't know
still
shit.
these people still hold dearly the Bible, which was also so fucking long ago. Dude, I saw this funny tweet. My girlfriend posted it. It was like, people. What is it? Oh, white people don't believe in cultural appropriation, but will flip out if you wear a band shirt and you don't know any of the songs. Something like that. I thought that was pretty good. But I mean, we have a SD card today, so we got to keep this kind of short. We're at about 35 minutes.
That's true. We're at about 35 minutes. Holy shit. We just went on an absolute rant.
It was good though. It feels good to be back. I was sort of tired and like, I don't know if I want to start this up again, just because for some reason life's kind of just been a little bit stressful lately, and I am trying to sort of streamline the things that I'm doing, and I was like, I don't know if I need this the stress again, but I knew once we like sat down and did it, I would have a blast, and so I'm glad that it sort of breezed by. But yeah, since we're almost like getting there, I mean, do you want to just give a quick little update? I mean, David was in Ohio at the Chappelle camp and had a. I mean, I guess you don't even have to give a recap. We talked, and so I know you had a really amazing time and sort of.
I had a great time.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. But so now you're back, and here we are. We wanted to do this to. Also, not to cut you off. I mean, you can, I don't know if there's anything burning your mind that you want to, whatever.
Well, I did get a glimpse into like how life could get back to normal. They did have the COVID testing machine out there, and they tested us pretty regularly, and that was amazing. So it is it's not 100%, obviously, and and they did have to cancel some shows at the end because it wasn't 100%. They didn't lock it down like the NBA bubble. They weren't, people were allowed to go to the grocery store, and local people were kind of coming in and out, and local people were getting tested and this and that. Anyway, long story short, I did get a glimpse into like how things were normalized by testing often, and
Gotcha.
if they didn't test every day, and if they would have tested every day, they would have been a lot more successful. But they went 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And the shows were incredible. They had these social distance shows in a cornfield.
Man.
And they would have, I saw lots of people coming in and out. Chris Rock, Bob Saget, Louis C.K. was there. Bill Burr was there. Ali Wong.
A question. Who had
yeah.
your favorite set of the whole time you were there? Was there anybody that
Oh,
really...
Donnell Rawlings was murdering
Shout out
shit.
to Donnell Rawlings, man.
And I'll tell you what happened, because this is so funny. Donnell was always last. They had to put him last because he was just he was on one.
Damn.
He was on one, bro. He was so in the moment. Most of his stuff was about Ohio and like, loving nature. It's just basically like real funny stuff about a black guy discovering nature. So funny, like hilarious, right? But the shows sometimes were really long because, like, for instance, this night, I think there was like 7 or 8 comics, and some of them were doing like, I think Hannibal Buress was there that night and Louis C.K. was there. I mean, they're doing 30 minutes each,
Yeah, damn.
And so what happened was, right as Dave was hosting, and Dave is awesome. Dave Chappelle is the greatest comedian of all time. I mean, it's not even a question. The guy, I got to watch him 20 times.
Man, amazing, dude.
It was absolutely amazing. And if you know a bit about Dave Chappelle, a lot of times he'll just show up late at night and just sit on a stool smoking cigarettes and just riff for 2 hours. But this was Dave Chappelle doing bits. Like, this is
awesome.
Like Dave Chappelle doing material and riffing, and it was absolutely fantastic. So anyway, this night, it was a pretty long night. Right as he was literally introducing Donnell, he was saying, yeah, this guy was on Chappelle's show. He's one of my good friends. I've been working with him for years and years and years. And suddenly Chris Rock walks out on stage, who had obviously just flown in. No one knew he was there.
Yeah.
He had flown in and then got a car to the venue and walked out and interrupted Donnell. And so then he does a set. He goes, "Oh my God, Chris Rock's here. I can't deny Chris Rock, obviously." He does a set, does 20 or 30 minutes, and then he's not really like in that zone of like doing stand-up regularly. So he calls Dave out, and then they have a back and forth on stage, which was amazing, telling stories about Bernie Mac and all this shit.
Man.
And that went on for like a half an hour and was super funny. And then finally Dave brings Donnell out, and Donnell's shit-faced drunk, and he just fucking, he went absolutely bananas. It was one of the funniest sets I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And he killed it. He fucking killed it, man. It was, I can't even explain it. And from what I understand, the next day, Donnell told me that Louis came up to him the next day and said, "Hey, man, that was the funniest stand-up set I've seen in like 10 years or something like that."
Wow.
It was,
I was thinking that when you were saying Chappelle was doing bits to the audience, it's like, I wonder if, people have this they had this like respect for like how much you need the audience, and like really wanted to use that as a time to kind of work as much as possible. I went up at the store the other day on Monday night behind the glass, and it was hard, dude. You can't hear the audience laughing. I didn't really have a lot of sort of cohesive thoughts, just a bunch of shitty notes, and but it was really fun. I just hit up this other mic. I'm gonna try to get up. It's like at a beach. They do it outside, so I'm gonna see what's up and sort of try to start piecing together something. And I might release some stand-up clips at this point, because it's like, by the time we're able to come back, I don't even know if I'd want to do those old bits, so I might just release some, also to just help people pass the time and laugh and stuff. But that's dope, man. Well, I'm happy to have you back. I'm glad to be here. Happy. Thank you guys for messaging me and caring about us coming back. We got some cool stuff for the Patreon, and some prints and stuff like that in the works. And we got some. We might have to keep these at 45 minutes for the next few, just because I got to get a bigger SD card. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for chatting. And we'll fucking, God, I feel like I want to do this whole like send off, but I don't know, man.
Do the send off.
Well, I don't know.
You
I just
3 minutes. Do your send off.
I just want everybody to fucking love each other, and fucking, I'm so sick of the fucking negative energy that we've been sort of dealing with in this country, for real. And I don't know, man. I get people messaging me sometimes like, why can't you just be funny? Why do you have to have this agenda? It's because like I want to use my platform, man. It's like I'm sort of, the more I see it, the more I get annoyed that people don't want to say shit because they don't want to lose ticket sales or whatever. And it's like, dude, like, and also I've been thinking about it a lot. It's like, as a Mexican person, I don't really have that luxury. I have to use my platform. It feels like, I have to do something, because I gotta fucking, I don't know, I just have this like burning need to sort of like speak up, and so I don't know, if you have a problem with my political agenda, don't watch it. Fuck off. You have so many things to watch. I don't even, whatever. I'll read your comment and just be like, well, sorry, what am I gonna do? Change who I am? I can't. At this point, I'm 33. I'm trying to evolve in a positive manner, and I'm probably, it's I don't know. This is the show. This is my show. This is the show. If you don't like it, don't watch it. To everybody else, thank you. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Gunshots on a gun, underwater bait. Guilt trip, drugs are